Ladies and gentlemen, time is the only resource you can't earn back. You can lose money and make it again. You can lose energy and recover. But once time is spent, it's gone. That's why wasting time is not just inefficient, it's dangerous to your potential. Let's get clear, wasting time doesn't just mean lying on the couch or scrolling through your phone. It also includes mental drift, poor sleep, emotional reactivity, and lack of clear goals. Most people don't realize how much time they burn in a fog of distraction and indecision. If you want to stop wasting time, start treating your brain like the powerful machine it is. Science tells us that your brain operates optimally when it has structure, challenge, and rest in the right balance. Focus is often treated as an abstract concept or an inherent trait, something that either you have or you don't. However, recent neuroscientific findings suggest that focus is more like a muscle, a skill that can be strengthened with the right training. Much like physical exercise, improving your focus requires intentional effort, practice, and consistency. The idea that focus is a skill that can be enhanced changes the way we should approach tasks, distractions, and productivity. It empowers us to stop blaming our shortcomings on a lack of inherent focus and instead provides us with tools and methods to strengthen our attention span. The human brain operates by prioritizing information through a system known as selective attention, which determines what to focus on and what to disregard. When you practice focused attention, you're training your brain to better identify what needs your focus and what can be safely ignored. However, distractions are omnipresent, whether they come in the form of notifications, inner thoughts, or external noises, and they constantly pull us away from our tasks. This constant shifting of attention can result in what is known as cognitive load, where the brain becomes overloaded from juggling multiple tasks and stimuli. Over time, this can impair our productivity, memory, and even emotional well-being. To begin training your focus, you need to understand how your brain works when it comes to attention. The prefrontal cortex, located at the front of your brain, is the region most responsible for decision making, planning, and controlling attention. It governs your ability to maintain focus and suppress distractions. But here's the key: the prefrontal cortex is not a limitless resource. It fatigues. This is why after hours of focused work, you may feel mentally exhausted or experience a decrease in your ability to pay attention. This concept is crucial when you start training your focus. Just as physical muscles get tired and need rest after a workout, your brain requires recovery after periods of intense concentration. Research shows that the human brain performs best in intervals of about 90 minutes of focus followed by short breaks. This pattern, sometimes called the ultradian rhythm, is a natural cycle where your body and brain experience peaks and troughs of energy. It's essential to respect these cycles in order to avoid burnout and to maintain high levels of attention throughout the day. To begin training your focus, consider a gradual approach. You don't need to jump into hours of deep work right away. Start by practicing focused attention for shorter bursts, perhaps 20 minutes, and then gradually extend these periods. During this time, it's important to eliminate distractions. Put your phone out of reach, turn off notifications, and create a quiet workspace. This doesn't just mean eliminating external distractions. Internal distractions matter too. Your brain is constantly generating thoughts, many of which may not be relevant to the task at hand. One effective technique for managing these internal distractions is mindfulness meditation. By training your mind to notice when you've drifted off task and gently bringing it back to the present moment, you build the muscle of attention. Another way to train focus is by practicing single tasking. While multitasking has become a cultural norm, research shows that it is highly inefficient. Your brain cannot truly multitask, and when you attempt to do so, it constantly switches between tasks, which increases cognitive load and reduces productivity. Single tasking, on the other hand, allows you to dive deeply into one task at a time, which strengthens your ability to focus and improves the quality of your work. When you train your brain to single task, you're not only improving your ability to concentrate, but also enhancing your working memory and problem-solving skills. The importance of rest cannot be overstated when it comes to training focus. Just as your muscles need time to recover after a workout, your brain needs periods of relaxation to rejuvenate. One of the best ways to give your brain a rest is through physical movement. Exercise has been shown to improve cognitive function and increase the production of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin, which are essential for focus and mood regulation. Taking regular breaks to move, even if it's just a quick walk, can help refresh your mind and make it easier to return to focused work. Sleep, too, plays a critical role in maintaining and strengthening your ability to focus. During sleep, your brain consolidates memories, clears away waste products, and strengthens the neural connections that support learning and focus. Chronic sleep deprivation impairs cognitive function and reduces the brain's ability to stay focused. Prioritize getting 7-9 hours of sleep each night to ensure your brain is functioning optimally during the day. One of the challenges people often face when trying to train their focus is maintaining motivation. It's easy to lose interest in a task if it feels too long or too challenging. To address this, break larger tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. Instead of thinking about a large project, focus on completing the first 20 minutes or even the first few steps. This way, your brain doesn't feel overwhelmed and you can sustain focus over longer periods. It also helps to keep your ultimate goal in mind, reminding yourself why the task matters and how it contributes to your larger objectives. Another effective way to enhance your focus is by making the task itself more engaging. This is where the principle of flow comes into play. Flow is a state of deep concentration where you're fully immersed in the activity at hand. It's often associated with peak performance and a sense of time distortion where hours feel like minutes. To achieve a flow state, tasks need to have a balance between challenge and skill. If a task is too easy, you won't be engaged. If it's too difficult, you'll get frustrated. By continually adjusting the difficulty level of the task to match your abilities, you can enter this state of hyper-focus and increase both productivity and satisfaction. Lastly, the role of nutrition and brain health cannot be ignored in this discussion. The brain is an energy-hungry organ, consuming about 20% of the body's energy. To maintain focus throughout the day, your brain needs proper fuel. Eating a balanced diet rich in complex carbohydrates, lean proteins, healthy fats, and micronutrients is crucial for supporting cognitive function. Hydration also plays a significant role. Even mild dehydration can impair focus and concentration. Training your focus is not an overnight process, but the payoff is immense. The more you practice focused attention, the more your prefrontal cortex adapts and becomes better at filtering out distractions. Over time, you'll notice that your attention span lengthens, your ability to concentrate improves, and your productivity soars. But like any muscle, your focus will require regular exercise, rest, and care. So, start today by committing to small steps. Eliminate distractions, create a structured work environment, practice mindfulness, get regular sleep, and nourish your body and brain. With time and persistence, you'll be able to tap into the full potential of your focused mind. In conclusion, focus is far from being an innate, unchangeable trait. It's a skill that you can improve with consistent effort and practice. By understanding the way your brain operates and implementing strategies that align with its natural rhythms, you can transform your ability to focus and, as a result, unlock your full potential. The power to stop wasting time lies within your ability to direct and sustain attention, and that power, as with any skill, can be developed with the right approach. How you start your morning sets the tone for the rest of your day. This isn't just a motivational catchphrase. There's solid science behind it. Your morning routine impacts everything from your energy levels to your mental clarity, mood, and overall productivity. Research on brain function, neurobiology, and circadian rhythms consistently shows that the way you begin your day has profound effects on your performance throughout the day. But this isn't about waking up early or following a prescriptive routine. It's about understanding how your brain and body function in the morning and aligning your actions with these natural processes to set yourself up for success. The human brain operates on a natural rhythm known as the circadian rhythm, which dictates our sleep-wake cycle. This internal clock is influenced by external factors like light and temperature, and it governs a variety of biological processes, including hormone production, alertness, and cognitive function. The circadian rhythm is particularly important in the morning, as it determines how quickly and effectively you transition from a state of rest to full wakefulness. Cortisol, a hormone that helps regulate stress and energy levels, peaks in the early morning hours to prepare the body for the day ahead. Dopamine, the motivation molecule, also rises, contributing to feelings of alertness and readiness to take on challenges. These neurochemical shifts are critical for getting you moving and into a productive mindset. However, the way you engage with your morning determines how effectively these natural processes work for you. If you wake up and immediately dive into checking emails or social media, you're hijacking the very systems that should be setting you up for focus and energy. These activities, though seemingly harmless, activate your brain's stress response, which can disrupt your ability to maintain calm, focused attention. Instead, you begin your day already reacting to external demands, rather than proactively shaping your own agenda. This results in mental fatigue, emotional reactivity, and often a sense of disarray throughout the rest of the day. One of the first things to understand is the importance of sunlight in the morning. Natural light, especially in the first 30 minutes after waking, plays a key role in resetting your internal clock. Exposure to sunlight helps regulate the release of melatonin, the sleep hormone, and reinforces your brain's circadian rhythm. It's during this period that your brain and body are most sensitive to light. By stepping outside or even sitting by a window for a few minutes of natural light exposure, you signal to your brain that the day has begun. This simple act can help you feel more awake, energized, and aligned with your body's natural rhythms. But light exposure alone isn't enough. The physical act of moving your body in the morning can further optimize your brain and body for the day ahead. Exercise in the morning, even if it's just a light walk or stretching, helps release dopamine, endorphins, and other neurotransmitters that enhance mood and focus. It also activates the cardiovascular system, increases blood flow to the brain, and gets your body ready to handle the demands of the day. Research has shown that people who engage in some form of physical activity in the morning experience improved mental clarity, better decision making, and increased productivity throughout the day. When it comes to energy and focus, the morning also sets the stage for managing your mental load. One of the easiest ways to sabotage your mental state early in the day is by allowing distractions to creep in. Checking your phone first thing or diving into your work email can cause your brain to become overloaded with information before it's even had a chance to fully wake up. This scattered mental activity can create a sense of urgency and stress that's hard to shake for the rest of the day. Instead, a more productive approach involves intentionally protecting the first moments of your day. Give yourself at least 30 minutes in the morning to focus solely on yourself, whether that's through a mindful meditation, journaling, or simply having a cup of coffee in silence. Once you've established a calm, intentional start to your day, it's essential to align your physical and mental states with the tasks that lie ahead. Setting clear intentions or goals for the day can give your brain a framework to focus on. You might ask yourself, what are the most important tasks I need to accomplish today? or what will help me feel accomplished by the end of the day? Research in goal setting suggests that writing down specific, actionable objectives helps to activate areas of the brain responsible for motivation and problem solving. This helps prevent the all-too common feeling of going through the motions without a clear sense of purpose. Another important aspect of your morning routine involves how you fuel your body. Breakfast is often dismissed in the hustle and bustle culture, but what you eat in the morning can have a significant impact on your cognitive function and energy levels. After fasting overnight, your body needs fuel to kickstart your metabolism and provide sustained energy for the day. A balanced breakfast that includes protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates can help stabilize blood sugar levels, which in turn supports focus and sustained energy. Simple carbohydrates like sugary cereals or pastries can lead to a spike in blood sugar followed by an energy crash, which can leave you feeling sluggish and unfocused by mid-morning. In contrast, nutrient-dense options like eggs, oatmeal, or smoothies provide a steady stream of energy that helps your brain maintain sharpness throughout the day. Just as important as food and exercise is the role of hydration in the morning. After hours of sleep, your body is naturally dehydrated, which can affect your cognitive performance and physical energy levels. Drinking water first thing in the morning helps kickstart your metabolism and supports cognitive function. Dehydration, even in its mildest form, can lead to difficulty concentrating, headaches, and irritability, making it harder to stay focused on important tasks. Consider making hydration a part of your morning routine before reaching for coffee or tea. Your morning also plays a pivotal role in how you manage your emotions and stress throughout the day. Stress is inevitable, but the way you prepare for it can make all the difference. Starting your morning with a few minutes of deep breathing, mindfulness, or even gratitude practice can set a calm tone for the day. When you prioritize mental clarity, you improve your resilience in the face of stress. Mindfulness practices have been shown to decrease cortisol levels and improve focus and emotional regulation, making them an invaluable tool in your morning routine. Building a morning routine that supports mental, emotional, and physical well-being requires consistency. While it's tempting to hit the snooze button or rush through the morning routine to get a head start on work, the long-term benefits of setting aside time for yourself in the morning far outweigh the immediate gratification of jumping into your day. Creating a sense of structure and intention in the morning helps train your brain to be more focused, calm, and resilient throughout the day. If you want to be more productive, energized, and focused, it's essential to recognize the power of your morning. The way you wake up, move, fuel, and engage with the world around you has a direct impact on your ability to navigate the day. The morning doesn't just dictate the pace of the day, it influences the quality of your thoughts, interactions, and performance. By aligning your morning routine with the natural rhythms of your body and brain, you can optimize your entire day and set yourself up for success. In today's fast-paced world, we are inundated with decisions, from what to wear in the morning to which email to respond to first. Every day, we make countless choices, many of which seem small but accumulate to create a heavy cognitive load. This constant barrage of decisions is one of the key factors contributing to what's known as decision fatigue, a phenomenon that has significant effects on our mental energy, focus, and productivity. In essence, decision fatigue refers to the decline in our ability to make quality decisions after we've been forced to make too many of them. Just like any other form of mental exertion, the more decisions we make, the more our cognitive resources are drained, leaving us exhausted, overwhelmed, and prone to poor choices. Understanding the science behind decision fatigue can help us realize why simplifying our choices is not just a smart strategy. It's essential for maintaining mental clarity and ensuring that we can make the most important decisions effectively. Cognitive scientists have shown that the brain operates using limited resources when it comes to decision making. Each time we make a choice, we expend a small amount of mental energy. Over time, as we accumulate more decisions, these cognitive resources become depleted. This depletion leads to mental fatigue, reducing our ability to think critically, weigh options, and make optimal choices. This explains why we may find ourselves making impulsive decisions later in the day or avoiding tough choices altogether, opting for easy but suboptimal options. One of the first things to understand about decision fatigue is that it's not just about the number of decisions you make, but also the complexity of those decisions. Simple choices, such as what to have for breakfast or what to wear, may seem trivial, but they still require cognitive effort. When we're faced with a multitude of decisions, especially those that require significant thought or involve potential consequences, our brains become overwhelmed, making it harder to make clear-headed choices. The brain's prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making, planning, and self-control, becomes fatigued when it's constantly activated. In fact, studies have shown that the more decisions we make throughout the day, the less able we are to make thoughtful, reasoned decisions as the day progresses. This can manifest in different ways. We may start avoiding important tasks, procrastinate, or even engage in behaviors that are contrary to our long-term goals, such as impulsive eating or spending decisions. This happens because when decision fatigue sets in, our brains seek to conserve energy, opting for automatic, low-effort responses instead of critical thinking. The effects of decision fatigue can have far-reaching consequences, especially in high-stakes environments. For instance, research has shown that judges are more likely to issue favorable rulings later in the day, after they've made a series of decisions, compared to early in the morning when they are well rested. The same principle applies to business executives, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is tasked with making important decisions. When people experience decision fatigue, they tend to make choices based on convenience, emotions, or past patterns, rather than taking the time to consider all possible options carefully. One of the key ways to combat decision fatigue is to simplify the number of decisions you need to make each day. Simplification doesn't just mean reducing the volume of choices, but also making those choices easier by removing unnecessary complexity. There are several strategies you can use to streamline your decision-making process and preserve your cognitive resources. First, create routines. Establishing predictable patterns in your daily life can significantly reduce the number of decisions you have to make. For example, many highly successful people, including CEO and athletes, adhere to a strict morning routine that eliminates the need to decide what to wear, what to eat, or how to spend the first few hours of the day. By reducing these low-stakes decisions, you free up cognitive energy for more important tasks. Steve Jobs famously wore the same black turtleneck and jeans every day as did Mark Zuckerberg with his gray t-shirts. These simple decisions, although seemingly trivial, are a form of mental energy conservation. When you don't have to think about what to wear, you can focus more on what truly matters. Another strategy is to limit choices in advance. If you know you'll need to make certain decisions throughout the day, try to streamline them before you reach the decision-making moment. For example, meal planning and prepping in advance can save you the mental energy required to figure out what to eat every time you're hungry. The same goes for making your shopping list, planning your day's agenda, or determining your workout schedule. By thinking through these choices in advance, you eliminate the need to make them on the fly, reducing decision fatigue. Automate decisions whenever possible. In our modern world, technology can help us reduce the burden of decision-making. This might mean setting automatic bill payments, using apps to track and organize your to-do list, or implementing digital tools to help with time management. Automating tasks that don't require your active participation not only saves time, but also conserves your cognitive resources for decisions that matter. Another powerful technique to reduce decision fatigue is to prioritize and delegate. Not every decision is created equal. In fact, most of us spend much of our time making decisions that are either trivial or not as important in the long run. By identifying what truly matters and prioritizing those decisions, you can conserve your mental energy for what counts. Delegate decisions that others can handle, especially if they don't require your personal expertise or input. For example, if you're in a work environment, delegate administrative tasks, delegate low-level decision-making to team members, and only focus on high-priority decisions that require your unique skills. This not only preserves your mental energy, but also fosters a more efficient and effective team environment. Another key to reducing decision fatigue is to limit your options. When faced with an overwhelming number of choices, our brains can become paralyzed, making it harder to make any decision at all. This is why the paradox of choice, where too many options lead to confusion and dissatisfaction, can be so debilitating. If you're shopping for clothes or picking a restaurant, narrowing down your choices to a select few options can make the decision-making process easier and faster. The same applies to work decisions. If you have too many things on your plate, prioritize and limit your options to a manageable number and tackle them one at a time. Taking breaks throughout the day is also essential for combating decision fatigue. Our brains aren't built for nonstop decision-making, and after hours of intense focus, cognitive resources become depleted. Taking short breaks to move, eat, or simply relax can help replenish your mental energy and restore your ability to make thoughtful choices. Even something as simple as stepping outside for a few minutes of fresh air or practicing deep breathing exercises can be a powerful tool for combating decision fatigue. Finally, embracing the idea of deciding once can be an effective way to reduce decision fatigue in certain areas of your life. For example, if you consistently struggle with deciding what to have for lunch every day, consider choosing a few go-to meals and sticking with them for the week. Similarly, if your wardrobe is full of clothes but you're always wondering what to wear, create a uniform of sorts, a set number of outfits that work for your lifestyle. The fewer decisions you have to make on a daily basis, the more mental energy you will have for the important ones. In conclusion, decision fatigue is a real and powerful force that can impact our ability to think clearly and make effective choices. By simplifying our choices, creating routines, prioritizing, and automating where possible, we can significantly reduce the strain on our cognitive resources. The key to maintaining clarity and productivity throughout the day lies in recognizing the mental cost of decision-making and taking proactive steps to minimize that cost. By making fewer and simpler decisions, we free up our mental energy for the things that truly matter, ensuring that we can make better, more thoughtful decisions when they count the most. Sleep is often viewed as a luxury, something we can afford to sacrifice when we're trying to meet deadlines or juggle multiple tasks. However, this perception couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, sleep is a fundamental pillar of time management, one that influences nearly every aspect of our cognitive function, emotional regulation, physical health, and productivity. Neglecting sleep doesn't just impact how we feel in the short term, it ultimately undermines our ability to manage our time effectively in the long run. The more you sacrifice sleep, the more inefficient and ineffective you become at managing your day. One of the primary reasons sleep is so critical to time management lies in the way it directly affects our brain function. During sleep, the brain undergoes a variety of processes that prepare it for the next day. It consolidates memories, repairs neural connections, clears away waste products, and refreshes the brain's neurotransmitters. The effects of a good night's sleep extend far beyond just feeling rested. The quality of your sleep determines how well you will perform cognitively when you wake up. Without enough sleep, the brain operates at a reduced capacity, impairing your ability to focus, make decisions, and process information. When you don't get adequate sleep, your brain experiences something called cognitive impairment. This means that your ability to think clearly, retain information, and make decisions is compromised. Studies show that even a single night of sleep deprivation can cause significant deficits in attention, memory, and problem-solving skills. In other words, staying up late or cutting sleep short may seem like a time-saving strategy, but in reality, it's making you less productive. You may find yourself unable to focus on tasks, struggling to recall important details, or taking longer to complete even simple jobs. This ultimately costs you more time in the long run because you have to work harder to accomplish what you would have been able to do effortlessly with a well-rested mind. Sleep is also directly tied to decision making and emotional regulation. When we are sleep deprived, we're more likely to make poor decisions and act impulsively. A tired brain tends to rely more on automatic, habitual thinking rather than engaging in thoughtful, rational decision making. As a result, we may take shortcuts, overlook important details, or make decisions based on emotions rather than logic. This is especially problematic when it comes to managing our time, because sleep deprivation can lead to procrastination, disorganization, and poor planning. We may find ourselves rushing to complete tasks at the last minute or failing to prioritize effectively, simply because we didn't have the mental clarity to think things through. In addition to cognitive function and decision making, sleep also plays a crucial role in regulating our mood and stress levels. When we're well rested, we are more resilient to the stresses of daily life. We can handle difficult situations with patience, stay calm under pressure, and maintain a positive outlook. On the other hand, lack of sleep heightens our emotional reactivity. We become more prone to frustration, anxiety, and irritability. When we're tired, our ability to regulate our emotions becomes impaired, leading to more frequent mood swings and a higher likelihood of making emotional decisions. This emotional instability can interfere with our ability to manage our time effectively. For example, stress and irritability can lead to poor time management decisions, like procrastination or abandoning tasks altogether. Perhaps one of the most overlooked aspects of sleep is its effect on physical health. Chronic sleep deprivation can lead to a host of long-term health issues, including heart disease, diabetes, and impaired immune function. When our bodies don't get the rest they need, we become more susceptible to illness and fatigue. This means we're more likely to take sick days, feel physically drained, or lack the energy to get through the day. This not only costs us time in terms of recovery, but it also reduces our overall productivity. The more we neglect our physical health by cutting corners on sleep, the more our time is eaten up by sickness, physical exhaustion, and slow recovery. In the long run, the inability to stay physically healthy also limits the time we have for personal activities, work, and self-improvement. One of the most critical functions of sleep is its role in memory consolidation. Sleep helps to store new information and consolidate learning, turning short-term memories into long-term knowledge. This process is particularly important for people who need to retain large amounts of information or learn new skills. Without proper sleep, the brain struggles to make sense of the information we've encountered throughout the day, and our ability to retain and apply that knowledge is severely diminished. This can have a direct impact on how efficiently we manage tasks, learn new concepts, or perform at work. Sleep plays a fundamental role in helping us retain what we need to know, which in turn saves time by preventing the need for constant review and relearning. Furthermore, sleep affects creativity, problem solving, and innovative thinking. During the deeper stages of sleep, the brain processes emotions, integrates knowledge, and sometimes even solves complex problems. Many people report coming up with creative solutions or ideas after a good night's sleep, or they may wake up with a new perspective on a problem they were struggling with the day before. When you sleep, your brain actively works to organize and connect the pieces of information you've encountered throughout the day. This mental organization and synthesis process leads to more efficient problem solving and can help you tackle challenges with a clear mind. In contrast, sleep deprivation often leads to a mental fog that makes it harder to think creatively or critically. The less you sleep, the harder it becomes to come up with innovative solutions and ideas, ultimately slowing you down and hindering your progress. To truly understand the impact of sleep on time management, we need to look at the concept of sleep debt. Sleep debt refers to the cumulative deficit of sleep that builds up when you consistently get less sleep than your body needs. When you don't get enough sleep for several nights in a row, you build up sleep debt, and it can take days to recover. Just like financial debt, sleep debt must be paid back before your brain and body can fully function at their optimal level. Even if you don't feel tired after a few nights of poor sleep, the effects on your cognitive performance, mood, and physical health are still present. This is why, in the long term, consistently sacrificing sleep for the sake of productivity can be so damaging to time management. While you may feel like you're getting ahead in the short term, the long-term consequences of sleep deprivation ultimately slow you down, cost you more time, and reduce the quality of your work and personal life. In conclusion, sleep is a non-negotiable component of effective time management. It is not just about recharging your body, but about maintaining optimal cognitive function, emotional stability, and physical health. Sleep is the foundation upon which all other aspects of time management rest. When you prioritize sleep, you improve your decision making, focus, productivity, and overall well-being. The more you neglect your sleep, the more time you waste due to decreased cognitive performance, poor decision making, and emotional instability. Sleep should never be sacrificed in the name of productivity. Instead, it should be viewed as an essential investment in your ability to manage your time effectively, make clear decisions, and perform at your best in every area of your life.